Let's have all our moderator and our panelists together. The energy transition path.
Devi, our organization, Amplo Global Inc., we are a six IP-led business simulation platform. We are based out of platform company. We are based out of New Jersey and California, and also Mumbai and Calcutta. So, Debbie, what we are seeing is, if you really see the sustainability value chain, it has an upstream where you would be knowing your journey, where you are, where you want to be. Then you have a midstream where data gets collected, and the downstream where reporting is a mandate right now. So what we have seen in the last 4 or 5 years of our existence, most of the leadership have heavily focused on data collection and reporting. Our mantra to the ecosystem is, do not look reports as your starting point. Measure your risk, measure your readiness, do some business simulations, and really focus on template-based platformation. Let's say, an example, GRI 11. One of our oil and gas customers based out of Houston, we discussed a business problem on scope 3. And scope 3 is one of the very painful area to really get into the whole value chain. So they decided to collect data, and they then quickly turned around and said, no, we need to call a few suppliers and distributors on the table to really figure out what life cycle analysis means to them. And Amplify 4.0, it's a business simulation platform. That platform was fed in, we collected data into the platform from that oil and gas company. We also buy data from outside, and some simulations told them that even to enable an LCA for one of their suppliers, they need to really go through for a tremendous exercise of understanding the greenwashing, which means that they have so much data and there is no clarity on what data they would be focusing on, what attributes they're focusing on. So the way we are helping customer is really measuring the risk, what you're getting into, what the investments you're going after before you start reporting. Thank you.
So if I were to sum it up, it's the convergence of technology, artificial intelligence, and ESG in terms of making life much simpler for corporates to deal with the complex issues that arise on account of ESG.
Templatized with the best practices like GRI, TCFD, and others. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, getting into the sunnier side of life, so the solar industry. So my question to you, Kushagra, we are all aware that India had planned for 175 gigawatts of renewable capacity by 2022. Now, of course, it's a different matter that it's not going as per schedule for a variety of reasons that we are aware of. Out of this 175, 100 gigawatt was supposed to come from solar. And out of this 100 gigawatt, 40% was supposed to come from what we call as rooftop solar, RTS, off-grid solar, OGS, broadly defined as distributed renewable energy, DRE. There is also one report by a think tank that talks about investment requirements of $18 billion by 2024, whereas in 2019, it was 1/10 of what is required. So there's a huge amount of scale-up required in terms of investments also. Please talk us through the...
I will start with emulating what Sailesh just mentioned. Scale is a big factor. So initially when we started, we got a big pushback from the big fours because it's a platformation. And when we are platformizing something, it would cannibalize some of consulting business in ESG space. Time forward, especially post-COVID, our product has been leveraged by 4 mid-market to large market consulting companies. And the partnership, we call this, in my language, I call it a sell with to the end customer. So these consulting firms are now looking into more of a volume business than a body business. Suppose you have 5 ESG experts. Yesterday, they would be putting them in 1 or 2 projects. but now they can put them in 5 projects with an accelerator like ours. So now the consulting firms are treating this platform as an accelerator that sets the stage for their end customer, that where they should invest, when they should invest, is the organization ready, is the right template being delivered to the office of CFO. So we started with that competition, but now we have made a place with the consulting firms. To the end customer, it is also a similar situation where, again, volume and scale and repeatability, end-to-end visibility, transparency, because once you platformize something, you can always go back 5 years, go back and see that why you actually shelled this program and why you actually executed this program and what value you have got from this program, especially focused on environmental, social governance. Last 30 seconds as an example, we are delivering a program simulation with a cosmetic company based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. They want to launch an inclusive product, which means the comb can be leveraged by he, she, LGBTQ, disability, everybody. And this is a great example where our platform has been leveraged by a global consulting firm to do simulations around all these personas. So I want to finish up with this example.
Fantastic. Great job so far. And despite all this hard work, you still managed to find time to write a book, Ruins of Hope. And ladies and gentlemen, I understand it's a love story. It's selling quite well on Amazon.
No, I would like to say about that then. 30 seconds, I know you're running out of time. So the book is The Ruins of Hope. I did not know that you will mention that. It's on Amazon and Flipkart. So it's about a protagonist who fails many times in aspect of relationship, career, but this person comes back and leaves back a legacy in a small village in Bihar named Forbesganj. It's a very vulnerable town. A lot of trafficking happens there. How this protagonist comes from New York and lives there for 9 months and really saves around 89 women. It's actually a true story. I'll leave it there. Being in the Indian origin, the homegrown family business has done sustainability without saying it to be sustainability in the last many years. And now when I see the MSME sector, they are really accepting it. We work with, I'm going to take a name, Wadhwani Foundation in India. So we are partnering with them for the MSME journey. So there is a decent acceptance out there. And we have a customer in Bangalore in fashion retail. They have, of course, they are a conglomerate. They really have accepted it. One thing is important, which you talked about, Scope 3. It's both sides. So when Indian Tier 1s, Tier 2, Tier 3 companies going to global level, they have to follow the OEM's method and the madness. Similarly, when conglomerates in India are bringing international suppliers, they have to follow the BRSR, which I think the Indian team has done extremely well. So I think the acceptance is both sides. It's mutual. It's important that it's just like we talk about 10Ks, this is a part of every finance office journey. I would like to see more acceptance a little bit. Especially in the MSME side, and that also has a range. But I'm glad that there is an awareness. We have champions like Sailesh, right? And I would say my answer will be yes, it's getting accepted.